For those of you who don't know, I was detained by Customs and Border Patrol. I was tactically ascertained and engaged in a kinetic situation where I was kinetically moved into a detention center inside of the O'Hare Airport, which I will tell you all about in a second. And they were ready to receive me, let's just say. And it wasn't a very warm welcome. Oh, man.
Guys, please beg for Hasan and his safety. Everybody! Recently, during a trip, our beloved left-leaning god-awful streamer, Hasan Piker, was detained by airport security to be questioned about some things he has said in the past. Now, me personally, I was somewhat shocked at this news, but after sitting on it, I can't say I'm surprised, because he has both said and promoted some insane things, especially surrounding Palestine and Israel, if you know what I mean. So sit back and watch some good coverage from the Sensitive Society talking about this, because once again, it's one of those things where you find it shocking initially, but it makes more sense later.
Got stopped by CBP for additional questioning. They asked me about my job. They knew already. Trump, Israel, Houthis, Hamas, even Twitch bans out now. I wonder why this happened, guys. I am beyond shocked. I don't know if you guys can see my face right now, but jaw is literally on the floor. I can't imagine why they would be questioning him over these very specific topics. If anything, I blame
I wonder
the Slav tubers for this. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you so much for coming back and appreciate the love. I feel it. I feel it through the screen. This is one of the funniest things to happen. My favorite Twitch streamer of all time.
It is actually, you know, like how often do you hear about like a Twitch streamer, a political streamer, one of the biggest ones, getting stopped in an airport?
Hasan Piker was
From my understanding, he got stopped at an airport.
Abroad. And coming back to America, as you guys saw from that intro, he was asked quite a few things. I don't know, he's never said anything controversial, ever, to warrant this type of behavior. The guy is just a nice...
Wait, so what trip was he going on? From Japan to America? No. No, because he got like a national flight from Chicago to somewhere else.
He's wholesome YouTuber.
Can you stop people if they're going like within the country?
And Twitch streamer. He has never had terrorists on his show. He has never promoted terrorism. Truly don't know why. They would ask him these kind of questions. Hey, how do you think Hasan responded to this? A, took the blame like a man, or B, blamed other people for this. If you answer B, you would be correct.
A lot of...
No, I'm sorry. Bro, if he went on debate with Ethan and he conceded to nothing at all, why would he, you know, just like randomly bend the knee to fucking FTA or airport security?
Shit. That like... The Ethan...
Am I blocking his face? No, I'm not, because it's a still PNG. Why include that?
Minds of the world have like cried about over and over again were unironically brought up in that fucking conversation. And I was shocked. Okay, not like the bleach sword, obviously, but like the Houthi. Like, did you interview a Houthi? It says here that you interviewed...
I'm sorry, but like that's the one thing that they actually pull up.
A Houthi, and I was like, or was he actually a Houthi? And I was like, he's not. You can look to all of the reporting.
Oh my god. Okay, he got saved, right? Because like from my recollection, he never said outright in the stream, "Yo man, you're a Houthi." But like, there were so many obvious signs. Like, you know, he's from Yemen. He has like other militia with him. You know, like he's got like the equipment from Houthis, all this shit.
They came out after.
Because he didn't say, you know, right then and there on stream, that saved him, I feel like.
Words, and before I interviewed him.
But like, come on, you know, like, don't be so obtuse.
That he is not a Houthi, that he is a regular Yemeni citizen. And I said, like, his name is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a Shia. And the dude, luckily, again, Iraqi, went, oh yeah, that's right. That's a Sunni last name. Al-Haddad is a Sunni last name. So he must not have been.
But they brought like an actual like Iraqi guy to interview him. That's pretty nice, actually.
And the very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have fucking gotten me arrested is insane.
It should have. With all fairness, you had every right to stop you, considering like the last shit you've been peddling over the last year, you know, for free Palestine.
I genuinely, in that moment, was thinking like, these fucking...
Am I speeding up way too much? Oh, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I'm tweaking.
Dumbass slop tubers
are actually... He's speaking just fine, actually. Yeah, I saw that he would have speeded the video in post.
Playing with fucking fire. And I even thought about not even mentioning this because I was like, I don't want to give him any sort of like power over the situation. But like, the reality of the matter...
That's not a very good fucking idea, you know. I was gonna withhold information from the security.
There is 100%. The Trump administration is inadvertently working with a lot of these fucking dipshits. These dipshits are playing a formative role in getting people in trouble.
Now, I'm not gonna fully, you know, subscribe to that, or am I gonna contest it? But I so alien. The Trump administration is holding me back from getting in the country. They're fucking me over. Me, Hasan Piker. Like, really?
With the law. Okay? That is literally the case. It was shocking that that was the case, but it is the case. And it's actually very frustrating that that is the case, that this administration doesn't care. That's why they work with...
Also, can't you say it right? They housed him in a really nice hotel area. Look at this shit, dude. Nice. This is fucking massive. I'm guessing this is a hotel, right? Because, you know, if they're going to keep him for like more than a day, they'll have to give like some accommodation. And if this is a hotel, looks fucking nice.
Beitar. That's why they work with all these other fucking insane groups. The Barry Weisses of the world actually have motion in this goddamn admin.
It could be all the other interesting stuff he said over the last 5-6 years, right? No, I blame slob tubers, YouTube.
That as well, bro. If they actually like, they probably wouldn't. But like, imagine if they pull up like clip of him like, oh, America deserved 9/11. But if they pull that up, like he admitted to, you know, like them asking him that. That would have been insane. Holy
Drama
shit.
channels and Ethan Klein for me getting in trouble.
I'm sorry, but like that one clip, right? That's the one thing where like I don't get how old it is. If you say that proudly and boldly on your stream, you deserve to have the ramifications follow you for the rest of your life. How can you say that so promptly in a country you live in? Fucking idiot.
That's not, come on, calm your tits. You're not gonna get in trouble, okay? You should try that again. Just to confirm, you know what I mean? Just to double check that it's the slob tuber's fault. Dude, when are you gonna take some accountability and be like, yeah, it's on me. I shouldn't really say these extreme things. Because when you look at that, when you're the #1 left-leaning political YouTube channel, or Twitch streamer for that matter, yeah, you're going to be under a microscope, especially when you're saying very interesting things about.
Najee, I don't think he should be on if you're a left political streamer, you shouldn't be on a microscope, but he should be, because like he's left-leaning, but like he's really far left-leaning. Like he's like the best example of like the horseshoe theory, where he's so fucking, you know, far left, he's like pretty close with the right wing. I feel
But America,
like.
and I'm not saying America is the perfect country. It's far from perfect. No place is perfect. There's ways that you can criticize America or Trump or the Trump administration. There's ways you can do that. But the way Hasan goes about it is a little extreme. Now, once again, this is really not Ethan Klein's fault, let alone the slob tuber's fault. This is his own doing. No one's controlling Hasan Piker.
No, I think it's their fault, but like not the way that he means it. Like they shine the light on it, but at the end of the day, right? Who do you blame, you know, for saying that? Himself, you know, he said on stream, right, okay, and like, he did not care after, you know, to like apologize for it. So why should I, you know, defend me like, oh, maybe, you know, he regret what he said? He never did.
Piker and be like, you should.
Has he ever apologized for one single thing? I think he might have apologized for like one misspeaking, but aside from that, every stance he's had, he has still fucking, you know, defended it entirely. Like maybe internally he feels bad about it, but he can't like drop his image one tiny fucking bit.
Should say this. And when you look at that, actions have consequences. How could we not see that coming? Hasan is acting as if he was a fucking puppet and someone's controlling him. Someone in the universe has their hand up his ass and is making him say all these crazy things. Hasan, you should say this. No, you should do this. My words got me into trouble. Time to blame everyone else but myself. Where's the accountability for someone that's always preaching about holding people accountable? Where's yours? And hey, I'm not here to defend the fucking CBP officers. Some of them have huge egos. They love to go on power trips. They think they're above it, right? I'm not here to defend those people. But when you're saying very questionable stuff about America and saying this to over 30,000 people on the daily, that is bound to get some attention. I'm surprised. He's surprised. Yeah, dude, that's going to raise some red flags. I don't know if that makes any sense. Am I getting my point across? Am I going insane? Am I losing it?
He knew exactly who the fuck
I get exactly what he means. I feel like he shouldn't say like if you're a left political streamer, you should have attention. Just like not everyone's as crazy as him, right? Like I know one guy, his name's Hudge. From my you know limited coverage of him or like knowledge of him, right? He seems to be like a good example of like a left-leaning guy. Aside from that, you know, you've got like Papa God. He's very liberal. But like none of those guys, you know, they don't get attention on them because they're not that fucking crazy. Hasan, on the other hand, he is. He's fucking wild.
I was, but he was basically like, he always made it seem as though he was asking certain things that after discovering in the process of that conversation, he would ask additional questions. So he,
can't you say like how egotistical do you have to be, right? To like, you know, be interrogated by airport security, right? And then, you know, not consider a single thing. Like maybe apologize for what he said, but like the energy I'm getting right now is that, you know, he stayed straight the entire time, never saying sorry, never being like, oh, you know, I sort of like misspoke. He might have, like, I don't know just yet.
he would
be the kind of guy to like never apologize at all for even like the tiniest thing ever.
He kept saying, what do you do as a job? Do you talk about the news? And I was like, yeah, I talk about the news. And he kept saying,
now I'm willing to feel bad for him, like if they like really treat him like an asshole, like a piece of shit, you know, like harassing him, fucking like putting like the spotlight on his face, you know, making like a pain in the ass for him.
okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war? And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, do you talk about Trump? And that was the first time where I was
What? Do you talk about the war, aka Trump? What?
like, what the fuck is this question? Like, I literally straight up told him, I was like, why are you asking me this? Like, I was like, what does this have to do with anything? Yeah, they asked me about my fucking Twitch bans, chat. It's not even a joke. They asked me about fucking Twitch chat, like Twitch bans. The reason for why they're doing that is, I think, to try to create an environment of fear to try to get people like myself.
Or maybe, you know, to create a safe environment, an environment where people don't say, kill Rick Scott, kill Rick Scott, kill Rick Scott. I'm sorry, if you say that, you know, all willy-nilly in your stream, then you deserve the repercussions. Like, bro, in his fucking case, it was a 1-day ban. That was ridiculous.
Or at least like
you're trying to like say like, you know, oh, they want to create an environment of fear. Like, no. I don't think the biggest streamer on Twitch in America should have like the liberty, you know, the carelessness to just say kill this person. That's dangerous. With an audience of like 30k viewers every single day, yeah, that's dangerous.
like other
You are somebody big, okay? Like your words have meanings. Like, even the smallest shit you say, right, might, you know, affect somebody.
that would be in my shoes that don't have that same level of security to shut the fuck up. And for me, I'm going to use the privilege that I have in that moment to try and see what the fuck they're doing.
If that was really the case under the current Trump administration and how they're dealing with things, if they really wanted to shut you up, they would have done something more drastic, okay? And I'm not here to
I'm sorry, but like, I feel like even like in a, you know, pretty, even like in this weird state of America with, you know, under Trump, I don't think they would like hire somebody to, you know, fucking like beat up Hasan. That's ridiculous. I don't know like the full extent of, you know, of what's been done to like the enemies of Trump. Maybe somebody got beat up, but I don't think, you know, he would hire somebody to, you know, fucking wall up Hasan. That's ridiculous.
here to condone
Like, just silence him at all.
that, okay? I think that's a little too far, but come on.
Like, maybe like Trump would have called him out, like, Hasan Piker's calling me out, but like that's really it, you know. He wouldn't like fucking get like the security to arrest him.
Like, I get it, you're completely playing into it. I don't think that was a way to censor them. And if anything, that's completely against free speech and what Trump fans want, which is being able to say whatever the fuck you want. You know, I'm not here.
No, I disagree actually. Wait, is he defending what Hasan said? Like, you know, all the like interviewing a hoof pirate, you know, all, you know, proudly saying the insane shit about Jews and Israelis. No, I think at some point on Twitch, you can't just say whatever you want, because like that's when you get people like Hasan saying like the most insane shit about Israelis and Jews.
Here to get into politics. Once again, I'm not an expert, but that would go against their whole thing, freedom of speech and Elon and Trump, and we could say whatever we want and have no consequences. For better or for worse, that should be universal for everyone. I don't know if that's controversial. For Hasan as well, if Elon and others are allowed to say, you know, whatever they want to say, I'm all for freedom of speech, but it also has consequences. Like,
I think there's a limit. Like, I don't know like what the limit is, right? Like, it's very situational. Like, you know, you can say generally you can say whatever you want, but there is some shit, you know, like Hasan did, saying kill Rick Scott, kill Rick Scott. Should I be allowed, you know, to be said on a stream? I'm not sure. Like, you actually condoning for like someone to be killed. Jesus.
dude, if I go on here and start saying insane stuff, I'm allowed to say it, right? As long as I don't break TOS. But that also comes with consequences.
Like, the deal of like freedom of speech, right, sounds very nice, but you do have to draw the line somewhere. Like, hate speech, you know, would also be like freedom of speech, right? So you have to like step in yourself and, you know, draw a line at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. Hasan fucked around and is finding out that his words that reach thousands, if not millions of people on the daily could backfire. And this is a perfect example of that. Once again, especially nowadays with how things are. If the Trump administration really wanted this guy shut down, it would have happened. Well, you kind of dig yourself into this. Stop blaming the drama channels, the commentary guys, the slop tubers, Ethan Klein, your ops, the Reddits. Stop blaming all of these people and take accountability for the stuff you have said. Bro just wants to play the victim so bad. It's everyone else's fault.
True, man. He's cooking.
And it wasn't that bad. Very strange experience. I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner. I don't think anyone cares about what I think politically. I've said this for years. I don't care for politics, and I'm not a fan of Elon Musk.
I do.
Okay? Without getting into it, I think that guy's a fucking retard. I've said this before. Nothing surprising. I don't like the guy. But am I going to start saying shit like, someone should kill Elon, they should take him out, and everyone was attacking Tesla, setting them on fire, they should have taken him out? I'm not gonna, well, I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that, and then I said it, so I'm gonna be fucked next time I fly back into America. You can be like, yeah, I don't like Elon, and I think he's a fucking idiot, and blah, 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 however you feel about him. But then, if you start saying crazy stuff online in front of thousands, if not millions of people, then yeah, that's dangerous. I don't think this is a hot take. Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. And when I saw the breaking news, I was low-key a little scared, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, how am I going to eat lunch now that my favorite Twitch streamer is banned? Like, who's gonna tell me how to feel?
Bro, I'm sorry, that's crazy as well. They kept him in a hotel room, like he could still stream. Like, it might have been a hassle, but like, you know, I was like, you know, a tiny bit like annoying. Like, it didn't seem that bad. They gave you a fucking hotel room. Jesus, dude.
About politics, if Hasan is taken to jail, am I gonna have to think for myself for the first time in my life? No. So I'm glad my Pookie Bear Hasan is free.
Do you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
I know they're singing, but I'm seeing this
There we
guns
go.
and shit. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
Just leave it at
Oh,
that.
yeah.
What do you guys think of the situation? Let me know in the comments below. I love you.
I think this is very crazy. Wow. Okay, I will admit, right? I think this deserved to some degree, but I don't like the full story. Like, I don't like if they kept him like in the room for like 48 hours straight, like no bathroom breaks, like just like being restless. That'd be shitty, right? But I think like considering your career, like considering the amount of money you've made from this career, saying this crazy shit, you deserve this. Okay, I'm not gonna clutch my pearls, that this happened. Okay, hopefully right after today, right, he gets back home safely and this doesn't happen again. But like this is a good warning, to be a little bit more careful. Like express your ideas, but choose things right. Tone them down, or package them in a better way, in a less violent way. Kill Scott. Like bro, I'm sorry, like that one time he got banned for one day, he would be like, guys, I didn't mean kill Rick Scott. I meant kill like capital punishment. Like just like like trying to save his own ass, twisting the meaning of his own words when he already said them. It's so moronic. So right now I wish you the best, but if you learned nothing from the even debate, please learn something now. Please be more careful with your words from moving forward, because otherwise you might get detained again at the fucking airport. God knows.